6 weeks after this mother gave birth, doctors found a deadly, unborn baby growing inside her. For new mom Leanne Crawley, the delivery of her baby boy should have been a moment of pure joy, but her labor and the weeks following were riddled with unexpected trauma. An unborn baby in her womb was threatening her life. Crawley, a 38-year-old mom from Kent, England, was set to deliver her son Louis in December of 2016. But when she gave birth to the newborn, it wasn't as beautiful a moment as it should have been. Instead, Louis arrived gray and lifeless, his mother told British newspaper The Mirror. Doctors took the baby away and ran tests and discovered that the newborn had lost a large amount of blood while in the womb. Crawley said, "They don't know exactly what happened, but they think that he bled through me. We didn't know it at the time." The trauma left her newborn son struggling to survive. He spent 3 more weeks in the hospital. During that time, Louis' organs had begun to shut down from the major blood loss that he'd suffered. Doctors put him in an incubator on life support. Eventually, they placed him in a medically induced coma and revived him with donated blood. That terrifying ordeal wasn't the end of Crawley's trouble, though. The happy family made their way home from the hospital, but just 2 days later, she was losing a lot of blood. When Crawley returned to the hospital, her doctors thought that they knew why she was bleeding. Medics operated to remove what they thought was part of Louis' placenta. It was terrifying, she told Britain's The Sun newspaper. Little did Crawley know that operation would do little to help her. Instead of healing, Louis' mom continued bleeding for a further 2 weeks and was eventually taken into hospital again. Her doctors performed another surgery and found the real root of her symptoms. Crawley had suffered a molar pregnancy, which occurs when abnormal cells implant in the womb, thus producing a non-viable embryo. The growth inside the full-time mom, determined to be Louis' twin, matched the size of a 12-week-old fetus. The discovery of this growth made it clear that Louis' delivery was a miracle in and of itself. In most cases, if a woman experiences a molar pregnancy while expecting twins, the abnormal growth consumes the healthy fetus. Crawley had never known that she was expecting twins, despite the fact that moms-to-be undergo routine ultrasounds to check on the health of their growing babies. They never knew that there were 2 in there. All you could see on the scan was Louis, but it turned out that he'd been hiding it all along, protecting me, she said. With a proper diagnosis, Crawley's doctors surgically removed the growth. After the operation to remove the molar pregnancy, they asked me if I wanted a funeral and things like that for the twin, she said to The Mirror, adding, "It was a lot to take in." Somehow, the shock of finding out that she'd been pregnant with twins and that one of her babies had almost killed the other wasn't the end of Crawley's story. There was one last side effect of the molar pregnancy for her to face. Roughly 50% of the women who experience a molar pregnancy end up with choriocarcinoma, a uterine cancer that develops from the abnormal cell growth. Crawley not only found out that she had the cancer too, but that it had also spread to her lungs. Upon receiving her diagnosis, doctors immediately started treatment, as they feared that the cancer cells would spread across her body. "They said they didn't want it to get to my brain, and I started chemo in my veins that night," she recalled. From then on, the new mom's treatment called for chemotherapy for a total of 15 hours each week, as well as blood transfusions, numbering in their 20s. Crawley lost all of her hair, which she told The Sun was horrible, a constant reminder that I had cancer. During her treatment, Crawley even experienced, and survived, a blood clot that traveled to her lungs. That in itself is even rarer than cancer, she told The Mirror. But she continued fighting, and by September of 2017 was cancer-free. Even with the all clear, Crawley said in April of 2018 that she was still struggling to regain her good health after undergoing such intense treatment. She said that her family had struggled in the wake of her illness too. "The whole experience nearly destroyed all of us, but I had so much support from my friends and family," Crawley said. She also created a Gofundme page in the hopes that her loved ones would contribute to a vacation fund so that she and her kids could regain a sense of normalcy. As for Louis, he'll have to continue his fight against the effects of the molar pregnancy. His mom wrote on her Gofundme page that he is completely deaf, mildly brain damaged, and has cerebral palsy in his left leg. Regardless, Crawley told The Mirror that every struggle was worth it for her son. "I wouldn't wish the experience on anyone, but obviously, I would take it all again if it was a choice between me and Louis," she said.
Thanks for watching another heartwarming video. Please check out our channel for more stories that will make your heart melt.